Hello everyone, it's Joy, and I'm back doing weekly lives. So this week I'm going to be doing a double pop-up card, and I'm going to be doing an offset gatefold. And while I was doing this, I discovered that, I had to make some adjustments. But, you open it up, you've got these double pop-ups. Now, I'm going to finish the one that I'm doing for you today, but I did make a little adjustment because I didn't like the little gap there. Now, if you don't mind the gap, then don't worry about it. But we are going to make this double pop-up with the offset gatefold today, and I'm going to be using the new pop-up petals. And this, I guess this came out the first part of November, but it is really fabulous. It is part of the online exclusives, which just means that it isn't going to show up in any catalog. It's only going to show up online, but you can absolutely order it from me, and you can get this great bundle for yourself. So we have the new packaging, which I think you guys have probably all seen by now, but you have the really thin packages, and then you have the dies. I went ahead and stamped the stamped them onto the packaging myself so that I could see back where they belong, but you do not have to do that. Anyway, you have the dies that will cut out all the different elements, and then you have these pop-up elements, and then you have these little pieces here that I'm going to show you about. So let's go ahead and let's get started, because this could take a little bit today. And first off, of course, we have our standard card base, which is the 4 inches, or 4¼ inches by 11 inches, which is half of an 8½ by 11. And I have not scored this yet, and there's a reason for that. And then we have a piece, and yes, I have gone ahead and done some of the die cutting, but then we have a piece that is 4 inches, and this piece, this is basic white, and this is 4 inches by 10½ inches, and it has been scored at, let's flip it this way, it's been scored at 3¼ plus just 1 more 16th of an inch. So this is technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16ths of an inch. But if you go to the 3¼ mark, and then you just go 1 more mark over, then you get that one. And then you've got this one that is just slightly less than 8¾ inches. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11/16ths. Or you can just go to the 8¾ and then just backwards 1/16. So that is how that is scored. Now let me show you a little bit about this here for the pop-up mechanism. So for the pop-up mechanism, you do need the these pieces here, and there's one that's a little bit longer and one that's a little bit shorter, so it was perfect for my offset gatefold. And so you have these little points here, and you got to make sure you put them the right way, because this is the cutting side. So that has a cutting line and then a couple of scoring lines there. So you have these little points on there, and you line those up where on your score line, and then you tape them down with some washi tape. You want to make sure your washi tape is not too sticky, because it will tear the paper if it's just fresh off the roll. So you just tape those down, and then you run them through the die cutting machine. And when you're done, this is what you have. You have the slits made there, and you have the score line there. So that is what you do with those pieces. Let's go ahead and put these back so I don't lose them. Get these back in my package. And then you're going to take, and this part will go like out like this, and then you'll go ahead and give that a score. So you'll have this here, and then this one pops again out like this, and then you have your pieces like that. So that's our inside piece. So since we have our inside piece, let's go ahead and work on that inside piece. So I have some pieces here. That I've die cut to save a little bit of time. Alright, so I have some designer series paper here, and this is from the paper that goes with the Impressions of Bloom, and it is on the last chance list if you really like this paper, but any designer series paper will work. So I went ahead and cut it, but then I set that right on the edge, and then it cut it, and then I need to cut along this score line here. So let me get out my scissors, and let's cut. Let's go ahead and snip those parts off, and then I'm going to cut it right along this score line here. Well, maybe if I fold it down, you can see it a little bit better. So we're just getting this right on here. And then the same for this one. So just right along that score line. So there we have those pieces. And then we have these pieces here. I had to trim those down, but you have these pieces here, and I'll show you what those are for. Let me just go ahead and show you the inside of this again. So these little pieces are your box flaps. So this, if you use this part, then it looks like your flowers are in a little box. And you know, you could have flowers or anything you wanted popping out of that box, but this set kind of comes with the petals. And so we're going to go ahead and do it this way. So we do need to fold this. And where'd the other one go? Oh my goodness. Of course, it just disappeared on me. Well, this one goes with this one right here. Let's go ahead and attach that on. So I'm just going to put some of the multi-purpose liquid glue on these two areas, not too close to the edge because the glue will tend to ooze. And we're going to just attach that right over that. And do have to, okay, kind of push that back down. So we're just kind of making sure that that is working the way we want it to work. And I wish I knew where the other one went. There it is. Now let's attach this one as well. Okay, we're just getting them on really well and hoping and trying to make them lay flat. So now we have these pieces here, and these are our box flaps. So they fold in half, like so, and you only need glue on one part of it. So this is the part that's going to go into the box here. And these just kind of lay over like that, and this part is going to be free because that's the flap of the box. I'm going to do the same with this one over here. And that one got some glue on it, so I'm going to have to kind of rub that so it doesn't stick. Get all that glue kind of rubbed off there. And then these, because they're made to go, these flaps are made to go with the larger box, so all I had to do is just trim this down a little bit, trim one side off, and let me get my fine tip here. This has got the same glue in it, but this is the fine tip. It doesn't come out quite as fast. It is my glue, it's clogged. Well, I'm gonna have to unclog that, folks. We're just gonna go with this and just try to get a little tiny bit there. And we're just gonna put this right on the edge there. And the same with this one, but we have to make sure that the point goes in so we know which side of the flap to put glue on. Just a little bit. And we're sliding this underneath so that now we have our our two little boxes there. Oops, we don't like that. Whoops, it goes this way. We're just making sure that this works properly. Okay, there we have it. That's our inside. And while we have it, we're just going to stamp a little green on the inside. It's going to say, "You make my life better just by being in it." We've got our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So we're kind of working from the inside out on this one. So if you are here, go ahead and make comments. Even if you watch on replay, I absolutely love comments. I do go back and make comments on your comments. And sometimes Facebook doesn't play very nice and it doesn't show me your comments while I'm live. So let's just put this, stamp this right there. And I have some pieces. Here's my little flower pieces that I die cut and colored ahead of time. And so, I stamped it and there was just a little bit of coloring with the blend on the leaves, but the rest of it you use stamps for. So we want to go ahead and just kind of attach this into our piece. Okay. Hopefully this is going to work the way I want it to. Alright, so we just need a little bit right down at the bottom there. And come on, needs to stick right there. It pops out right like that. Yes, that's where we want it. I think they're correct. Oops. Well, this one's correct. I know that. But do I want it on the other side? Nope, it has to go on this side. Okay. Sorry guys, you're getting to watch me fuss with it, but that way you can see what I did. This one needs to go in here. Does it need to go on this side? It needs to go in here, I think. Yes, right here. Come on. Why is it not working? Oh, let's go this way. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now it's working. Okay. Now it works. It all works. Now, this one I purposely did not score this so that it will match up with our score lines on this one. Now let's go ahead and let's just put some multi-purpose liquid glue. We're going to need this because we really do need to give it some, it really does need some wiggle room. So it needs to kind of go around those areas that have been die cut out. You don't want to be too heavy with the glue. You don't really want to get too close to the edge. Maybe one right down the middle. Okay. So now we are going to try to center this. It is going to have more of a border on the edges than it does in the middle. Okay, now this should work, guys. Now we got our crease over here. And now we're going to crease this side. We want our sides to come together. Oh, it's falling out again. I'll fix it in a minute. And it's okay if they overlap a little bit. We're not going to worry about that. You do need a bone folder. This piece needs to come out. There we go. And we need a little more glue on this. I think that's our problem. So you don't have to do a double pop-up. I just thought since we had the two sizes, it would be fun to do kind of a double pop-up. So there we have it. It's all nice and cute. And everything is lining up. Now we need to decorate the outside. So I have some of this designer series paper. And yes, it is called Floral Impressions. And it is on the last chance list, so if you like it, it does have lots of different patterns and stuff. They're really fun and bright and vibrant. And so these are a couple of the patterns that they have. There's the back side of this one, and then this one has that, like that. So like these two go together, and these two go together. That's lots of fun. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get our designer series paper on the sides of our offset gatefold. So the card base I'm using is Fresh Freesia, and this is Pool Party. This pattern is Pool Party. And this pattern has Fresh Freesia, Pool Party, Misty Moonlight, and Old Olive in it. Oh, I forgot to tell you what size those were. So these are 4 inches tall, and this one is 1.5 inches by 4 inches, and this one is 3.25 inches by 4 inches. So there we have this. A little crooked. It's straight on there, but it's crooked. Look at it. So maybe the fold can be a little bit better. All right. That's beautiful. Whoever gets this will absolutely love it, I'm sure. Now we need to decorate the front part and create this panel here, this focal point. So we have some pieces of cardstock here. We have some basic white pieces, and this one is 1 inch by 1 5/8 inches, and this one is 2 inches by 3.25 inches. Now I did judge this based on my grading. It does say grateful for your friendship, and so I sized my piece to fit my sentiment here. And then we have some pieces, other pieces. This is Fresh Freesia, the same as our card base, and this is 2 1/8 inches by 3.5 inches. And we have Misty Moonlight, And this is a 1/4 inch larger, so this is 2.5 by 3 3/4. So as you can see, it's like we always do, the 1/4 inch larger and you get the 1/8 of an inch border. And then this is going to have a skinny border, so this is Pool Party, and it is 1 1/8 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So this is going to have a skinny border. So this is just an 1/8 of an inch larger, where this one with the larger border is a 1/4 of an inch larger. So let's go ahead and let's do some stamping. Let's go ahead, since we have it right here, let's get our greeting first. Oh, and let's bring in a Stampin' Pierce mat, because that will give us a little cushion and give us a little bit better image. So we're going to use the Tuxedo Black ink, and the Memento pad. This one says, "Grateful for your friendship." We'll set that aside. And then we need to stamp our flowers. So again, we're using the Memento Tuxedo Black. Just tap, tap, tap. We're not pushing hard on it. And this one is going to go over here. Down at the bottom there. And then we need a little butterfly. And this little butterfly is going to go right up here. And now we need to do some other ink colors to color in those petals and the centers. So I'm going to use Fresh Freesia. Just tap, tap, tap. We're not pushing into the pad, but I kind of tap it several times to get the ink coverage, but I don't want to push it into the pad, because then you will probably get some extra ink where you don't want it if you push into the pad. So we're lining this up. Lining that up the best we can. And then for the centers, I decided to go slightly darker to kind of mirror this paper, and I went with Petunia Pop. So I did mount one stamp on one side of my block and one stamp on the other side, just barely tapping this. This is a really juicy pad, so barely tapping this. Really line that up. And that is beautiful. So now we need to do a little coloring. So I have a light Old Olive Stampin' Blends. And I'm just going to color this in. I am not doing shading on this. This image is so small and tiny, it really doesn't need shading. So we're just getting all the little leaves. I'm just barely touching this. You just need a really light touch with these blends. And just getting every little leaf. And I am using the bullet tip. It does have a larger brush tip. So there we have our leaves. And now I need, let's see, this is light pool party. So we're going to just do our butterfly in the light pool party. Then, not a heavy touch, we're doing a light touch. The, um, the ink from the blends takes to the paper really quickly. So we just got a little pool party butterfly. And then for the body of our butterfly, we're using the light basic black. And we're just giving that a little dark color there. So there we have that. That's all ready to go. Now we can start assembly. So let's go ahead and put all of our pieces together. And again, this one is a skinny border. Trying to make it even all the way around. And attaching this to the fresh freesia piece. Some matting layer. Trying to get an even border around. Attaching this to our piece of misty moonlight. This piece needs to go on a dimensional. I don't want it on the very end there, but I do want a couple of these here. And I'm just going to use my fingernails this time. This will go right here. Then, one thing that's very important when you're doing a gatefold like this is you only attach it to one side. So we're going to attach it to this larger side, and we're going to kind of center it. Then we're going to turn it over and put our finger where we don't want glue. And then we want glue all on the other parts. So we just want glue on one side. Okay, we're going to try to get that centered as good as we can. And there we have it. Here is our Grateful for Your Friendship Pop-Up Petals double pop-up card. So isn't that cute? So anyone who gets this is just going to be delighted by these little pop-up flowers in their little boxes. So go ahead and tell me what you think. And you will need, if you mail this, you might need to pay a little extra postage, possibly. Oh, I need to finish it off with some rhinestones. I'm not done yet. But you might need a little extra postage if you mail it, because it is kind of thick with those pop-up pieces in it. And let's get a take your pick tool. Whoops. it came apart. It's fine, it just screws right back together. And then we're going to get some of the smallest rhinestones here. And we're going to put one right about here. And a couple more. Up here. And there we have it. It's completely finished. And I'm sure whoever gets this card will absolutely love it. So go ahead and tell me in the comments what you think and who you might send a card like this to. And until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.